Hello, guys.
This is all about Jobu.
Welcome to a certain video we would like to discuss with you. And this is not the usual videos, we just want to say something because this is a serious matter. And would anyone like to start it off?
There's definitely a lot going on right now in the world that very much needs to be addressed.
Yeah, this is not a problem that can just simply be ignored. This isn't a problem where you could go on social media or go on your typical YouTube or go on a typical page and be distracted by it, because this has become such a big problem that it's not only affecting a certain population, it is affecting everybody at this point.
Not to mention that it's been happening for years, and now we've just had like the fifth, who knows how many, out of all tipping points. This is just another explosion that's just going to keep getting worse and worse unless somebody does something about it. And by somebody, I mean everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it can't be just the government. It can't just be the people who were supposed to take care of it, the police. It can't, the reason we are here is because the problem has been ignored for many years. You can say all you want, it's been fixed in the 60s, it's been fixed with the Civil Rights Amendment, but look at what's happening. Seriously, look out the window. Don't even just look at mainstream media. Look at every bit of coverage of what's happening right now, and you'll see a lot of atrocity everywhere.
In case we're not being clear enough, we're talking about all the black people and all sorts of people of color being murdered for literally no reason whatsoever. And all of the craziness and all the rioting and all the death and destruction that did not need to happen, but it's back again, and it's going to keep happening unless something's done.
Because we can be focused on the violence, we can be focused on the protests, we can be focused on the destruction, but it's merely a symptom of the root of the problem that we've been ignoring for the longest time. Our last president tried to fix it, but there was a party that just insisted it wasn't a problem. But now that we're here, it's a bigger problem than people will realize, and there are still people out there that are insisting that it is not a problem.
You should listen to people before it becomes a hashtag, to be honest. Yeah. Even because it's a hashtag doesn't mean you have to listen to it just because it's a hashtag. There's a reason it's a hashtag in the first place.
It's like, guy, how about you don't be a jerk? Then we don't have to have any of these issues. Treat people like people, 'cause they are.
A friend of mine actually said it really well, and she's really wise for saying this. It's not enough to just not be racist anymore. You have to be anti-racist in order for something to be changed.
Because we can defend freedom of speech all we want to. And you're right. People are entitled to their freedom of speech. People are entitled to saying whatever the hell they want. They should not be free from the consequences of that. You should not be protected when your speech is inciting violence towards other people. And that's exactly what's happening right now. There's violence being encouraged and incited towards people simply because they don't agree with them. I get it. Burning down businesses is wrong. Looting is wrong. It inherently is a crime. But they're not doing it for shits and giggles.
Not to mention, there are way more people that are just out there peacefully, literally just sitting down trying to get somebody to listen, and yet they're still being attacked just because they exist, just because they look like me.
I actually have a couple of friends who had gone down to across the country, who had gone to completely peaceful protests. Completely. There's not a lick of rioting whatsoever, and they were still shot with tear gas and bullets, and it's ridiculous.
The call to action that we would need to do right now at this point, we could protest, do it safely, but help each other out. There's a lot of funding and there's a lot of funding for the bailouts of the protesters. There's a lot of businesses that got their businesses destroyed, not like Target, they have insurance for that, but the man who lost his bar, he had a fundraiser, and there are a lot of people that have fundraisers. There's also GoFundMes for a lot of health, medical supplies, and here's the other thing that's messed up about the situation. In some areas, medics are being shot at.
Mm-hmm.
They're shooting at the media too, and we've seen that. They're shooting at the media. Basically, what that's telling us is the police does not want even CNN to be covering what they're doing. And they're shooting at medics. I'm sorry? The Geneva Convention specifies that as a war crime. These police are conducting international war crimes that got the Nazis fucked, and yet the Nazis also follow Geneva Convention to a degree. If the Nazis can do that, why are these people exempt?
It's like, why can... If
No one should be
Nazis and some of the
exempt.
most hateful people ever can do this, then why can't we? We sit here and talk about how this country is supposedly so great and a wonderful place to be.
I would like it to be that for everybody, not just me, not just Brittany, not just Brower. We would like that for every American citizen alongside us. People want to argue that this is a country that offers everybody an opportunity. How come Kayvon has to look twice around before a Karen calls a police on him for merely walking to work?
I literally have to walk around and carry a mirror just to look behind me to make sure that I'm safe wherever I go.
Well, and I said, my brother-in-law is first of all, one of the most intelligent people I know. And he is a wonderful black man and a pastor. And I said, it's terrible because he gets stopped by police and the first words out of my mouth are, is he okay? That shouldn't be my first words out of my mouth. I shouldn't be sitting around worrying about my friends. They should be just like me, where I can go to the store or wherever and not be scared. It's not fair. And for the people who are sitting there talking about the fact that they're like, oh, my life has been hard, I don't have, what's not white privilege, y'all don't quite get the point.
There's something y'all are missing, and there's something y'all aren't understanding. And here's what I'm going to say. I got in an argument with somebody because there's going to be a lot of arguments around these times. And the way I describe it is, on one side, I see a lack of humanity, and the other side, I see nothing but humanity. And humanity is not always pretty. Humanity is not always a good thing. But I see one side with nothing but humanity. The police, the Minneapolis police, had stepped on a man's neck for 7 minutes. I don't know why he's stepping on a man's neck at all. Here's the other thing. The riot police maced a 9-year-old girl. You can argue, don't bring her to the protest. You might be right. You don't know if they brought him to the protest. And the fact is, when I was in the Army, I had to identify my target. So that being said, before I was good, if I shot somebody randomly, I'd be sent to fucking Leavenworth. And I wouldn't be able to be out until later. I'd have to do out my sentence, and I wouldn't get out honorably. So if I can have that much discipline in my life, at that time, 20 years old, fresh out of high school, if I can have that kind of fucking discipline in my life, what exempts these people who are supposed to be protecting and serving us? How are they exempt from that kind of rules? That's what I want to ask.
I said there was a thing I saw from, I think it was Chris Rock, where he said that, I mean, you can sit there and talk about the fact that not all cops are bad, and that's true, but there are some things where you can't have bad apples. They're like, what would happen if you were riding Southwest and they looked and you're like, well, 90% of our pilots like to land the plane. That doesn't work. It's the same thing. If these are the people protecting you, 100% of them better be good.
It's the same thing with fucking COVID. It's just like, well, 10% of these people ride the plane. What do? We shut the fucking plane down because we don't want that shit going anywhere else. So why can't we treat society like that? Why is it also, when protesters are doing their thing, it's like, well, some of them burned a business down. I'm like, okay, why are you protecting the cops when some of them fuck with people the way they do?
And it's like, why... On top of that, the other thing where people are sitting there, they're like, oh my gosh, look, everything's burning, looting, and I'm like, okay, take a quick, real look at the people looting. A good chunk of them are
Aren't
white.
even black.
They're white. They're and there's even videos of cops breaking into businesses.
Seattle.
Yeah, it's
Seattle is the
businesses,
one.
torching businesses, just like, and
Having
then
Soho
redirecting
was
the
another
media to
one.
make it look like we're the ones doing it.
Yeah, and it's like, if you look, most of the time, almost everyone is completely peaceful. It's going to be some idiot who's gonna sit there and take some peaceful protest and turn it into something else.
And also, they're crap, I forgot. Oh, the other incident that sparked people's anger. The cops had the guy in custody already, but they insisted that they still need to look for this guy.
And they took him out of the car.
They broke. Well, not even that. They broke into the people's homes and they shot this nurse 9 times. She looks nothing like the guy, and he was already in custody.
Honestly,
Where's the accountability? Where is it?
there is none, and that's an absolutely ridiculous problem. There already was little to no accountability, and now we're rolling into where there's practically none, as we're going up to these protests and riots, taping their body cams, taping their
Turn them
badge.
off.
Yeah, they're turning them off or covering them in tape, covering their badge numbers in tape so you can't find out who they are, and that's not okay.
They will find you though. That guy who sprayed the 9-year-old girl in the face, his badge number, his information's out there. So if y'all think y'all sneaky,
Good.
they'll fucking find you.
Or yeah, the cops who slashed the tires and tased the people in the car who were just driving. They weren't in a protest, nothing. They were just driving.
Honest.
And they luckily they found those people and they are no longer cops. Thank heavens.
Honestly, it's just frustrating because you can ask any black person. When you're a child, your parents give you the talk about how you can't live your life the way your white friends or everyone else lives because of how you look. It's frustrating to think that now we're gonna have to, like my nephews and niece, they're gonna have to grow up in a world where not only do they have to have the talk, they have to be under constant surveillance by people who love and care about them just to make sure that they can even step outside and not get shot just for being how they are, just for being born with a darker skin tone.
I'm also tired of being every black person's safety badge, basically. Because that's literally how it's getting. It's getting to the point where it's like, have a white friend with you.
And that's not fair to anyone.
It's not
No.
right. You shouldn't have to do that. Because again, I'm white, you're black, but you know what? We are both people. We are both wonderful people. There are shitty people, there are good people. But like, you shouldn't be determining that on your skin color. Because that has jack shit to do with anything.
My friend shouldn't have to be a meat shield just because I'm a walking target.
And that's the point where it's getting right now. There's photos and videos of this happening right now, where they're taking white women and they're using them as meat shields, and the police ain't even listening to that. There's not a sign. People weren't listening.
There was a pastor, I think this was either yesterday or the day before. There's a pastor who'd been going out since this kind of started, and like full like robes, everything. And he goes out to these protests, and he tends to help keep things peaceful because he's a white pastor, and apparently cops will sometimes listen to that.
Sometimes.
Well, unfortunately, one happened. There was no riots, no nothing. But the police saw him, laughed at him because he was a pastor, and then proceeded to shoot him repeatedly with rubber bullets.
And these rubber bullets, just because they have rubber in the name, doesn't mean they're the safest thing.
They're rubber coated.
It's probably
bullets.
safer to get hit by real bullets, because rubber bullets, there's literally a fucking instruction manual where you're supposed to shoot them at the ground and then it bounces up. That's not what the cops are doing. They're shooting them directly in people's faces, which are shattering skulls and getting eyes taken out. Like,
Yeah. It's
this is fucking torture, people.
the cops aren't keeping us safe anymore, honestly. And while
And I hope when the military gets involved, they fucking actually solve it. But I don't even know, dude. Like, I don't know.
I'm actually scared for when the military gets involved. If that
You should be.
happens.
and from what I've just seen based off, because I have friends in the military, and I it's very polar opposite. You have a couple who are just like, I'd get in here and blah blah blah, and you have a couple who are like, oh, you're gonna send me out to try and stop protests? I'm gonna give you the finger and then go join the protest.
I honestly hope there are a lot of people that uphold and protect the Constitution for everybody. Because I know when I was in, there was a lot of people that are saying, it was particularly about the gun issues, like, if you're asking me to go to a civilian population and control them, occupy them, I'm not doing that. So I hope that that's still the mentality. I hope the mentality is, I'm going to protect my fellow Americans against corruption. I hope that's the case.
You know what's funny? People care more when it's a video game about robots being oppressed
Yeah.
than real life humans being oppressed by other humans.
It's like, how can you relate to the rebels in Star Wars when they're being oppressed by a corrupt regime? How can you give more of a shit about something that doesn't exist than a real situation in front of you right now? Oh, because I can enjoy it for my... But, like, no, like, this is the reality. There's a corrupt... We knew this government was corrupt, whatever side you're on, Republican, Democrat, blue, red. It's corrupt no matter where you're at in the machine. And this machine is lashing out because the people had enough. We want a better world. And the older generation's saying no. And I absolutely refuse to let Kayvon or any of my friends, white, black, anyone, I absolutely refuse to let them live in a world where the government's like, no, we have to play favorites.
I just want everyone to live in peace and be happy. I just wanted everyone to just express love, the same love that we should normally feel for each other. But unfortunately, that's just not the case.
I just want 1 week where my friends are safe and I don't have to worry about it going to sleep at night.
I would like children to, because what you said, Kayvon, where children have to be told that you can't enjoy the same things as white kids. I'm like, why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Like, why are they exempt from the joys that we feel?
It's like, why is this okay? Why did my nieces have to already deal with people treating them differently? They're once 10, they're 10 and under, and they've already had to talk to them all because they're mixed race kids, and you can tell, and people are treating them inappropriately. One of my nieces has already been called a word I will not be saying that starts with N.
We know.
At their school, at their Christian private school. Like, how is this okay? They're kids. They shouldn't have any opinions on things like this. Like,
it's taught.
It's taught.
I know it is, and that's what's just garbage.
Y'all raising kids, y'all need to be better examples for them. Because y'all acting like assholes.
Yeah.
This is the reason this is happening. Y'all acting like assholes. Y'all need to quit raising your kids to be fucking assholes.
Teach kindness to your children. Teach acceptance to your children.
Like, nobody is good or bad based off their skin color, their sexual orientation, any of that. If you're a dick, you can be any color you want to be. You're still a dick.
You can't say all lives matter and then try to snuff out one of the lives that you say matters.
I know in history it was okay to do it to the Native Americans. It's not okay.
It's not okay ever. It was never
But
okay.
that happened. And we're supposed to accept that as it's a part of us. And honestly, that's not good enough for me.
No. And it's like...
When the Constitution was written, I know it was written by fucking Protestant white men, but they written it in mind that Catholics, Protestants, and different identities were to get together and help build a better world with each other.
And
yet here we are. The country is burning because a bunch of rich old white dicks in DC are refusing to accept that there's some corrupt bullshit going on.
I can't even make it I mean, it definitely is about race, but it's just like, there are people up there that aren't white that are just reaping the benefits and not doing anything with it. Not helping their fellow people out.
It's everybody needs to band together to get this to change.
Because, Congress, what the fuck you doing?
I also would like to say something.
Yeah.
If you are white and you actively care about your friends who are people of color, don't stay silent. Otherwise you're just gonna be... I hate to say this, you're just gonna be as bad as the people who are actively trying to hurt us. If you actually care about your friends, speak up for them, defend them, love them, do whatever you can.
you don't necessarily have to go out there protesting. At least help them.
At least speak.
Well,
Help them. Let them vent.
Like with me, I personally am technically what they consider to be high risk with COVID, so I can't really go out to the protest. It's way too risky for me and my family. So I can't. But I still had some leftover money from my stimulus check, so you best know I've dropped about $200 now between memorial funds, bail funds. I'm like, I can't help here, so I'm gonna help here. I have way too many friends who are very much affected by this, and again, I'm tired of being scared for them. Honestly, I'm so sick and tired of being horrified for Kayvon, for my friend Nikia, who you've seen on this channel before, and a multitude of my other friends, because it's messed up. I'm scared for them to go to work half the time. And in today's world, I'm even more frightened. And I shouldn't be. So, yeah, I'm white. I will never understand the actual oppression you guys have been through, because, again, I'm white. I'm privileged, and I know it. So, I won't understand it, but you best know I'm gonna fucking fight for you guys.
And when we're talking about white privilege, we're not asking you to say you never struggled. You obviously struggle, and you have obviously experienced racism if you're having a reluctance to embrace this. But the fact is, if there is racism out there, you need to point it out, and you need to identify it. It's not good enough to just not be racist anymore. Because apparently, some of us ain't on the same page. We need to get them on that same page.
Well, I'm out of work, so I can't do much right now, but I have a camera, so I'll talk about it. Get it out there. Try to help when I can.
I still have work, and I honestly know that I'm going to have to go back and forth between there and here during who knows what times. But no matter what happens, no matter what happens to any of us, I'm just going to keep offering the same love that I like to offer to everyone. And even though I know that I don't have the loudest voice, I'm still going to do my part. Or at least try to. So if you can, do your part as well. No matter what you think it is, do your part.
It's like whether it be going out and going to the peaceful protest, or donating money if you can.
Drawing a picture.
Or even if you can't do any of that, at least, talk about it. Talk about it with your friends. Really just kind of like sit down and really chat about all this stuff, because there are, again, probably someone who is on the other side of this, and
really chat about it. Don't argue about it, because
Yeah.
you're not going to win anybody over by yelling at them, calling them names. I know it's tempting.
oh boy, is
I
it
do it sometimes. We all do it.
Most right now is
But-
love.
Yeah.
But you have to bring it down to caring about that person and getting them to do it. And if they show a lack of capacity to do it, it's not worth the fight. If they're more worried about other concerns that isn't valuing human life, you're not going to re-educate them. You're not going to win them back over. You have to win. You have to reach out to the ones that actually give a shit about people being okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the racism's not going to go away.
No, that's
But
reality.
boy, if you can get enough people to snuff that shit out.
Get the shame back. They should be ashamed for saying the word.
Change starts with you.
Please, yeah, it's like, I'm gonna be real. Let's get it back to the point where racists have to go hide again.
Like, Germany made it illegal to even mention Nazis. Like, to promote it. I don't think you should outright ban the talk of it, but they don't tolerate that shit. You even jokingly do a fucking salute? Polici's coming after your ass, and they don't fucking play.
Quick funny thing, just because you said that, just quick lighthearted moment. There was a guy who tried to do a Nazi salute.
Oh, the dude that got punched in the face?
Another guy walked up and punched him in the face, and there was this, it's like a story told in two things. It's like the dude doing the Nazi salute, and then the dude just punched him, and I was like, yeah.
It's just like, you have a right to your freedom of speech, but when it's involving the harm of others, that's not acceptable.
Freedom of speech does not
Unless
mean
you're
that
punching
you
a
don't
Nazi.
pay for what you say.
Even
Freedom
then,
of speech means that you can say whatever you want, and if it's good, that's good. If it's bad, there may be repercussions for what you say. You're just allowed to say it.
yeah, the freedom of speech covers the government not prosecuting you like the UK will do if you say the wrong thing.
it doesn't mean that if you say something bad, you won't have to pay for the bad thing you said.
Because
there are-
privately,
yeah.
people can disagree with you.
It's like the
Probably
government
privately.
can't regulate what you say, but someone can still walk up to you and just deck you for being an asshole.
Also,
This is America, and we can do that.
Also, the Constitution says you're not allowed to just say fire in a movie theater. That's an example of where freedom of speech. So you can't just go in a movie theater screaming the slur because you're gonna be facing a lot of. You yell fire, you're causing public panic. You're endangering people's lives by yelling fire in a crowded theater. You're going to do the same thing when you're yelling racial slurs because you know some people are going to get upset and you're threatening public safety and inciting
Don't
violence by
instigate.
doing that.
Like
So-
don't be a dick.
Stop being
Don't
an
be-
asshole.
It's like don't be a dick. Don't instigate
It-
stupid stuff.
And it's even going along with the protests, you're there to protest peacefully. And if you're inciting the violence, you're no better than the police. I get it will escalate to that level. Do what you can, survive, care for each other, make sure you're all okay. But do not get consumed with the bullshit that the police get consumed with.
Don't start anything. Just hold strong to your beliefs.
Help each other out.
Honestly, I would, because we've again seen that a lot of times these riots are started by the police or white supremacists trying to kill the movement and other stuff like that.
Nope.
And honestly, I would absolutely laugh my ass off if one night every other person completely ignored it and just was like, all right, you go do your stuff, I'm gonna go stand over here, and that the only people arrested were a bunch of white people. I mean, honestly, I'd laugh.
If they weren't doing all the traffic management, it probably would be that way. But that's either near or there. That's not what happened. We know what's happening, so.
Yeah. On that note, you think we covered most everything?
There's still a lot.
There's a lot to
there's only
go
so much that
through.
we
I
can-
will say, if you are going to protest anywhere peacefully,
Be safe.
be safe, please.
Don't incite violence.
Be safe. Don't incite violence. And if you're going out, please wear a mask. Cover your face. Cover your tattoos. Anything that they can use to identify you in the future, do not have them. And if you have the ability to, water, milk.
One more thing. If you do get arrested, there's a lot of lawyers that are out there bailing y'all out. And also,
Pro bono.
you do not talk to the police. Do not talk to them. Ask for your lawyer. Whether it's state-appointed, court-appointed, or whether you have one, ask for your lawyer. You do not have to say shit to the police.
Absolutely.
You have your Fifth Amendment rights, which is pleading the Fifth. You can remain silent until you discuss it with a lawyer. You do not have to testify against yourself. That is against the Constitution.
Also, make sure if you have the ability to film everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. Post it wherever you can so you have film evidence of anything that's happened.
Because here's what's happening right now, with the whole thing that started the whole thing. The coroners are lying about the guy getting his neck stepped on. We saw it on video, but the coroners are saying otherwise.
They said he was murdered when in actuality he was murdered by a cop.
They said it was drugs. That's literally what they say.
They're
It's
saying
just
it's a
some
heart
kinda-
attack and drugs and not that it was the cop, which is absolute bullshit from anyone who has seen the video.
There was lack of oxygen because it was completely cut off in the brain.
Luckily, his family they have their own lawyers and have their own person who came and gave their own autopsy, and they're like, yeah, that's a load of crap.
But we have seen that there's people out there. The point is, we have seen that the people that are on that side will spread misinformation just to excuse themselves.
Please
It's
do
not
your
okay.
own research. Now, we've all seen that the media is kind of
Shady.
very, in fact, I forget where it was, but they said that a city was burning and
They use World War Z
there
footage.
was World War Z footage. So please, do your own research.
Don't believe the mainstream media. Actually, search everything you can. Search all the information.
Everything.
I don't care if it's fucking Alex Jones. At least look into it. And you know he's full of shit. I hope you do. Basically, in a nutshell, if you want to help, protesting is not the only way to. If you do go protest, help each other out. Don't incite any violence. Just help each other. And Also, if you do get arrested, it probably is going to happen. If you do get arrested, you do not have to talk to them. You do not have to answer their question. You have a Fifth Amendment right. You do not have to testify against yourself. I forgot what amendment that was, but look at the Constitution. And look in there. Read it.
Read the
bitch.
Constitution.
And, no. And
It's not that long to read, actually.
it's not. Ask for a lawyer. Ask for your lawyer, state appointed. If you have a lawyer, and there are plenty of law firms that are willing to bail you out pro bono, have to pay nothing into it. But whatever it is, get one.
Even with all this going on, after this is all done, while this is happening, no matter what, please don't lose the love in your heart. Just stay strong, keep faith, just hold on, and just please keep giving love out into the world. That's the last thing we need right now is more hate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please love each other. Please be careful. Please be safe. If you're going out to the protest, wear your masks. There is still...
Coronavirus is still out there.
Coronavirus is still a thing, so please, if you can, distance yourself as much as you can.
And
keep
stay
your masks on. Stay
Yep.
safe. Cover your tattoos and anything that can be used to recognize you, so just in case people do decide to try and shove this off to your employers and they happen to be jerks.
Yeah.
They can't. And
On that note, I guess comment below. Don't fight over it. Don't fight with each other. Just comment, leave a like, leave a dislike. I don't really care at this point. Subscribe and be nice to each other.
Please.
Don't be a racist fuck ass.
Dad, love y'all.
Love you all.